All diesel engines are tough on batteries and tough on belts, especially the old V belts. And the CUCVs are no different. And with two alternators, knowing the right belt is important to have, and having spares with you. So on one of my videos, I think it was a glow plug video, one of my glow plug controller videos, somebody asked a question, what is the number for the driver's side alternator belt on a CUCV? And the question also asked, what kind of batteries are supposed to fit in here? So I went through my spares. And to answer that question, I figured this is something that comes up on Steel Soldiers all the time. So I'll go ahead and just do a video about it. See if you can see these. Pretty sure you can. All right. The batteries. They're supposed to be 6TL is the size. And that's kind of unobtainium now. So group 31. These are group 31 batteries. You can see my hand over there? Yeah, sure. And they fit just fine. Thing to remember, get a battery that fits the tray and has at least 800 cold cranking amps per battery. You want 1600 cold cranking amps. That gets you starting fine. Okay? That's the batteries. 6TL stock, but that was kind of, you don't find those anymore. So, group 31. All right. Belts on a CUCV. I tried the Goodyear belts, and I think these Goodyear belts, these three, I took them out of the toolbox of my 715 this morning. This is the driver's side alternator belt. It's a Goodyear number. This is the power steering belt, and that's the passenger alternator belt. The Goodyear belts, if I went to start up the 715 right now, it would squeal. And I tightened them not too long ago. The number one alternator belt, this one here, would squeal. And I'm not going to go Goodyear ever again. So here we have a problem. This one says driver's alternator. Well, you can see it says 7585 Gates XL 11A1485. This is the belt that came off of my 715. I put on the Goodyear belts several years ago. Again, the Goodyear belts are not lasting as good as the Gates. Get the Gates. The Gates work. I have on this truck is a Gates. Couldn't find the sleeve. I bet that ended up in red as a spare in red. Anyway, it's a 7575 Gates XL 11A 1460. Again, this is a 7585 11A 1485. Okay, so I have two different part numbers for the same part. I think you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see those. I printed this up just so I could show my demonstration here. Two different size Gates belts. On my truck, I can look on, I can show you. Zoom in. I'll show you. Right there, 7575. And then up there, you can see it. It says 11A1460. That fits my truck. Now, that is kind of close to the edge of the adjustment range. Get back to regular. Well, I can leave it like that. Yeah, you can see the other numbers now. So one of those two will work on, because I have the CUCV brackets and alternators on my other truck, my 715. Power steering, again, this is the Gatorade number. That's the Gates number, 7448. And then on the passenger side alternator, 7483. And then the Gatorade number. So those are the belts that I have on my trucks right now. And again, I took off. Well, let's just check. These are the belts I took off, and those are my spares. So, see almost, yes, 7483 for the passenger alternator, 7448 for the power steering, and 7575 for the driver's alternator. Now, also on mine, because I have the nostalgic air, that is my nostalgic air conditioner belt, a Gates 9565. Living with a V-belt diesel engine means you will be adjusting them quite often. And the two V-belt diesels I have right now that get seen regular use, I have to adjust every couple thousand miles. And I always carry spares because I have just driven along and hear a clunk clank, and then one of the lights comes on. So I always carry spares. That's why I have these in my vehicle. I don't know where my driver's side alternator belt. Like I said, I'll bet it's in red because must have had a failure in that I put my spare and hit my son's truck so he could get home if he had to. Anyway, uh, those are the belt numbers that work for me. What has been suggested many times on Steel Soldiers is go with those part numbers. Go with your wrenches to your favorite part store, buy those part numbers, put them on. If you don't like the way it is, if the belt is too small to get on to start with, because one of these trucks, I had to really, it was a pain to get them on. But once I got even, all the way, the alternator moved all the way in. Getting them on was tough, but once on, I got tens of thousands of miles out because I just adjust them out. Whatever you're comfortable with. Do each belt at the auto part store until you find ones that have you in the middle of the range, the tightest range, however you want to do it. These are the right numbers that work for me on both my trucks. Doesn't mean they'll work for you because the tolerance in making these things and oh yeah, so thing V-belts. V-belts do not ride on the inside. I am in view, aren't I? Yeah, I am. They don't ride in here. The load is taken on the sides. So as you're pulling yours apart, if you see the bottom of the pulley shiny, that means your belt is really worn down, too small. Or it could be your pulley has flattened out or expanded out, flattened out. The pulley's widened, so the belt sits in too far. If that's the case, then a new pulley might be what you need. Again, that's why different part numbers. Just because pulleys change, each of them has been adjusted different, each of them, it's an exact science with latitude, put it that way.